Hi everybody, it's Andrea, aka VioletKitty411, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who has been engaging with comments, likes, and subscribing. You know I appreciate it so much as we enjoy the best game in the Sims franchise, The Sims 2. So we are back on the building side of Old Town for another family redesign, and this time it's going to be one of the Unleashed families. So of course my last redesign was the Goth family, so the natural next redesign is going to be the Elder Goths over here on the south side of the map. Now, as I had actually expressed to Numberjack's Octonaut, from the neighborhood you can see the imposters of 8 gravestones because it was built originally with ghosts, but when I reinstalled it I had to not include them to avoid neighborhood corruption. But as you can see, they were all golds, so they died happily and no Sims were harmed in the creation of this lot. So over here they no longer appear in the graveyard, which is fine, but they left behind some lovely gifts with purchase, making Gunther and Cornelia effectively super skillers who are immortal, and that's fine. So they do have their Sims 1 personalities as well as skills. Well, Cornelia has no skills, which is fine. And I pulled their bios from both Sims 1 and Sims 2. Cornelia Goth is Gunther's perfect counterpart, impeccably mannered and refined but not snooty. She is the founder of the SimCity Bridge Society and enjoys high tea and phrenology. She is thankful to have her granddaughter Cassandra so nearby. And for Gunther, you can tell just by looking at him that Gunther Goth comes from old money. But he doesn't seem arrogant or greedy, just comfortable with the fact that he has been rich all his life. Gunther brought his family from the old country when his son Mortimer was just a lad. Having amassed quite a fortune, he is the founding father of the neighborhood. I think these outfits more closely exemplify what they are wearing in TS1, so that's great. And of course we have Hecuba and Menelaus over here being Siamese cats, which is basically obnoxious, I have to admit, because I have Siamese cats. So like most of the other builds that I have in Old Town, this was built strictly with base game and university, and it is pretty much a tile for tile representation of its TS1 self, with the exception of this roof, the mansard roof, and the Widow's Walk up here. But otherwise it is a tile for tile representation. Let's take a look. I find it very awkward and unwieldy. Over here we have a bathroom that is actually larger than a house that I played an entire TS4 Legacy in. So there's that. And we've only got one bedroom. Over here is the cat trophy room, but of course there's no trophies for our cats in Sims 2. This is the sitting room where Cornelia would watch TV with Cassandra. And we have the kitchen over here, but the dining room way over here. The solarium next to the dining room. We've got the library, the conservatory, and this strange two-part, hello Daisy, this strange two-part bathroom here, as well as this area over here where Gunther, one of the two places where Gunther practices his drinking habits. I'm just saying. So we do have some pretty strange, not well-defined spaces, this very poorly used central area, and I'm going to do the opposite of what I did with the Goths. With the Goth Senior, instead of making it bigger, I'm scaling it back, and we're going to decide how much I'm scaling it back. Okay, and it will be scaled down to either 75% of its original size, 67, or 50. Let's see what the fates have in store for the seniors. 50%. I'm so excited because I like this 50% the size. So in order to get 50% the size, I'll be multiplying all dimensions by 0.7. And I am actually going to take the furniture as well as the gifts with purchase and put all of it in their inventory, because I just really feel that the furniture and everything is appropriate for what they're going to have. I might do some other things, but we'll check it on the back end. So I'm going to put everything in their inventories. Okay, so now that I have everything in Gunther's inventory, I am just going to go ahead and evict them and start looking to rebuild. I am going to try to keep in mind that my net worth goal, that their net worth is actually 81,512. That is the cost of the building plus the 5,400 they had in the bank. So that's what I'm going for. Now, when I have played this house, both for the Goth seniors as well as a family of vampires, I actually translated this attic area into a self-contained apartment. So we will be keeping a mansard roof attic area, and we may or may not be using the basement, which clearly I never used for anything previously other than storage. So there's that. And I will be moving all my windows and doors and columns over here just so we can save that money, because they've fully depreciated. Look, they're 88 simoleons as opposed to, I want to say that's 250 off the top of my head. I'd have to look that up. 220 off the top of my head. And I absolutely love the fact that it's called the La Fenetre window, because that literally translates as the window. I'm just saying, it really does. So now that I have all of the architectural elements stashed over here in the graveyard, I'm ready to deconstruct this, and let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, and now that I have it all the way down to the foundation, I have to decide how I want it oriented. And I will be 100% honest, I did rebuild this house at 50% the size in TS4, and legitimately that's going to work. So I am going to use that floor plan, and I will even put it on a situation where this is ultimately going to go from a 40 by 30 lot to a 20 by 30 lot, because it's meant to be like a very New Orleans downtown mansion. So I want it on a smaller lot, and that's what I'm going to do. And as such, I need to put the flora in other places because it's kind of stuffing things up for now. And we'll go ahead, and for the time being, we are going to flatten our lot just to bring that up to where it needs to be before I get rid of the foundation as it is. So I am going to give this build a little bit of a backyard by creating it 6 from the back, which did not exist, and it's going to be 9 here, and then we're going to go, it should be 17 over, no, I think 14 over, and then another 9, and that should be our foundation. Significantly smaller, right, justified, and this is what's happening. We're going to lose a lot of land here, and you know what? We're okay with that. And so let's real quickly dig a basement as we do. First, of course, we've got to grab ourselves some connecting stairs. 5 from the edge. There we go. Hammer it away and level it out. There we go. Now I want a forward-looking solarium over here, so we're going to need to get rid of this fencing, which we're not going to need eventually anyway. So the solarium will go right here. And let's actually move these daisies so they're out of her way. And the solarium is only going to be 4 by 4, but that's okay because the whole thing is smaller and it's for Cornelia to enjoy. Is that right? Yeah, 4 by 4. That's exactly what we want. And now let's build it. And that is the shell that I will be working with all of the rooms designed, and we'll go over it in just a few. Okay, so it took me quite a while to place all my windows and doors. I swapped out a lot of the regular windows for the shuttered windows. I recolored everything, gave it a much moodier feel. I also created this little courtyard right here in front of the solarium so Cornelia can enjoy gardening year-round, and moved all of my plant life over to this side of the lot. So now I'm going to go into lot adjuster and delete this half of the lot, and I will be back. So it did take me a couple tries using the lot adjuster because something funky happened over here due to having had a basement previously, but I fixed it. And now I've got the lot the way I want it, and we are down to 47,063. So we've got plenty of money to work with, especially when you consider that I've got all the furnishings that I will need and then some. So that's great. And now I basically need to put the finishes on and complete the landscaping. I want to give it a different fence, something maybe a little bit moodier, a little bit more gothic than this. All right, I'm not sure that this is what I'm going to do for the final landscaping, but I did like putting the birch trees along the road for a little bit of privacy. And I have one final thing that I want to do. I did actually use this most expensive fence because, of course, the one that I fell in love with was among the most expensive, which boosted our cost currently by almost 20,000. So what I want to do here is create a very pretty little structure. Right there. We're going to lop off the corners. For the time being, we will put walls on, but we will be taking them off in a minute. Page up, go to our roofing tool, choose the octagonal, the low one, right there. And now we're actually even going to lower it a little bit more down to, let's try 35. Yep, that's about the maximum. Now I will remove these walls and put in a few columns. And actually, since I don't have those walls there anymore, let's try dropping it a little bit more to maybe about 25. Yeah, I think I like that better. And we'll put in a couple stairs. And that'll be a nice place to sit and enjoy a book in the afternoon. And if we need a graveyard, we can put it over here if we would like. So after quite a bit of indecision, I finally have the result that I am most satisfied with. I do have the darker, moodier textures befitting the Goths than it originally came with. Of course, I also created the little gazebo, the solarium, and the area outside the solarium. What would potentially be a graveyard is now over here, And there is a little bit of a backyard, which it did not previously have. In the mansard attic, I do have 2 additional bedrooms for Cassandra and subsequently Alexander, should he be born. And so we've got Cornelia and Gunther's bedroom over here with the bathroom, the cat's room, the rec room, the kitchen over here, the dining over here as opposed to over here because that made no sense. And Gunther, instead of having 3 bars, is only going to have 1. I mean, we all know he has a drinking problem, but we're just going to keep it to 1. The library here, music room over here, and of course the solarium over here where Cornelia can enjoy indoor gardening. I most likely will leave the basement empty, but we do have it finished and ready to work should you want to. And, you know, potentially trap people so you can fill out that graveyard. I'm just saying. What you do is your own issue. So it is only a little bit less than it initially was, maybe about 4,000, but that's okay because, of course, we have all our furniture, which we are keeping, and besides, it's just better. Overall, it's just better. So let's go ahead and put them in it. And here we are, enjoying our oh, and they are oh so romantic. We love that for them. And yeah, they have actually about 3,500 extra that they didn't have before. Of course, they have a much more expensive fence that took up a lot of our money. And of course, a lot of other wonderful things like the gazebo and the 3rd floor and the basement. So now let's just go ahead and furnish it with what I have in Gunther's inventory. Okay, and now that I have most things placed, I will arrange them and I'll be back. So after placing everything in the house where I want it, I did something for the neighborhood. I saved the house as it was and then placed 2 more down and recolored them so it has that close New Orleans neighborhood feel, since this area of Old Town is so close to so many of the community lots. So it definitely fleshes the neighborhood out even more. Now let's have Cornelia check out her garden. All right. Not a nature lover, that's fine. How about some painting? And we're going to go ahead and hire a gardener. And you know what? Why don't you hire the garden club? Because usually on the first day you can get in. And why don't the 2 of you trim up those rose bushes a little bit while we're waiting for the garden club rep? Oh, you got to go to work. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You go to work. Cornelia, why don't you look for, there she is, Alan Thompson. Go ahead and greet her with a kiss, kiss, darling. Why don't you request the garden club membership? Thank you, and continue trimming those. The cats are going crazy. They need to be fed. Where you, oh, you're going to the bathroom. That's very noble of you. The little bathroom right off the kitchen works great. And you know what? Let's go upstairs and feed those cats. Oh, I don't have a litter box. And Mr. Humble left our computer. Let's see how the cats are. Are they okay? They're fine. And we just got a pathetic on one of our rose bushes because you didn't trim them all. Come on, continue trimming. You are just really lazy about trimming rose bushes, I'm just saying. Okay, we are in the garden club, which is wonderful because Cornelia should be in the garden club, I'm just saying. Why don't you study some cooking, Cornelia? And Gunther's at work. He's not going to get a promotion because he doesn't have the skills, but that's fine. Mama Hick is stopping by. Might give her a different name other than Mama. She used to be Miss Sim City. Oh, there's Melissa Billingsley. Hi, Melissa. Why don't you just hang out in our gazebo? Sure, no problem. Or leave. That's good too. Mama's still hanging out. That's fine. We're not really into socializing today. And congratulations for getting that skill. Why don't you get a cleaning skill now? And you would like to scold Hecuba, so why don't you scold her for being on the furniture? I mean, that's not really good for your relationship with the cat, but, you know, my kitties get scolded for various things. But then I'm usually very nice to them afterwards. Okay. And now, why don't you give her a treat to take the sting out of it? Perfect. And a hug. That's great. That's great. Siamese cats are very, very playful, very athletic, and typically extremely naughty. That's because they're smart and they get into a lot of trouble. And she decided that she would get a little bit of rest, which is fine. And thank you for bringing home some monies today. It looks like you're bringing home Samantha Optimus, which is fine. Hecuba just took a pee in the litter box, so that should be praised. Definitely we don't scold that behavior. Why don't we join in some San Myshuno? Or not San Myshuno, just Myshuno. A game that I've never figured out exactly what... Yep, she's patting her flat belly. Okay, why don't you just go here, because I want to make sure that, yes, you can indeed go up those stairs. And there we go. Yep, they go through the roof, but that's fine. So the bedrooms that we have for the grandchildren are currently empty. Why don't you serve some shrimp gumbo? And why don't you come down and use that toilet, Miss Cornelia? Eat the shrimp gumbo. And clean that up, please. And while Gunther gets some sleep, Cornelia is just going to contemplate life. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I will see you soon in the pixelated world, and that's all I have to say. VK out.